Okay, beautiful. So, hello everyone. I hope that you have had a great time last week, and let's just start our international strategy. Uh, so, let's just start the slides. Okay, so for opportunities and outcomes of international strategy, so basically we have talked about the strategies, how we apply them, like in the region or in the local area that we are doing business. So now we are going to touch on how we use a strategy for international business. So most of our businesses nowadays are going to apply in the international world and other countries other than the country that we locally live in. So it's very important to be able to have an international strategy and apply it. So first, what we need is to identify international opportunities. So basically, we have an increased market size. So international business helps us to have a bigger market size instead of just the local market that we have. Basically, we have a bigger market when we have international strategy, and then return on investment would be higher because when you invest, the chances that you get money back and the extra customers that you are helping give you more profit, and then economies of scale and learning would be also more. As I said, like you have a bigger number of customers and clients that you're helping, and also the learning curve for you would be higher. So you would learn more, you would the challenges are of course more, but what happens is, the chances for you to develop your business and become better are even more. And you have a managing location. So we have this famous expression that everything that matters about business is location. So all that matters is location. So basically, international opportunities will also help you to have advantage for location because you're getting to different locations with and providing businesses in different locations. So that's also one of the factors that help you develop the business and be successful. So these are regarding the opportunities. Then the resources and capabilities. We talked a lot about resources and capabilities, and we said that one of the most important parts of the business that helps you develop a competitive advantage is resources and capabilities. So we definitely want to look at that. So multi-domestic strategy helps you with global strategy and transnational strategy. So basically, these are different types of strategies regarding the resources and capabilities. We have multi-domestic, which means that these are different levels of internationalization. So multi-domestic strategy is when we want to just go into different markets and we use a certain level of strategy and just make minor changes. Then we have global strategy, which is when we have businesses in different countries and different even continents. So that's like a bigger scale of a strategy. So the difference between the strategy that you have in multi-domestic and global are much different. And then the transitional strategy is mostly when you want to transition from one market or one domestic market into another market. So that helps you to transition. And then we use our core competence. We said our core competence will later on become our competitive advantage. Those are things, the unique things that we do. So supporting, licensing, strategy, alliances, and acquisition and establishment of a new subsidiary. Okay, so Mr. Asmal is asking about the difference between global and transitional. as the name suggests, global is when you have a strategy. Like, consider a very big company like McDonald's. So McDonald's has a global strategy, because they have businesses all around the world. So their global strategy are certain strategies for all around the world. So they have like certain way of customer service, certain way of advertising their food. So these are their global strategies. But transitional strategy is when a company is trying to transition from one market into another market, or from one, let's say, one local or regional market into an international market. So transitional strategy would be helpful. Let's say for same company like McDonald's, they use this transitional strategy of localizing their food when they were, internationalizing. Like, let's say in Malaysia, I remember they used to serve one of the soups called bubur ayam, which is chicken porridge. So chicken porridge is only served in Malaysian market, and it's only according to the Malaysian needs. So basically, that's the transitional strategy that McDonald's is using. So I hope that I answered your question, Mr. Akmal. Is there any more explanation that you need to clarify? Okay. Beautiful. So so we talked about core competence, and we have exporting, licensing, a strategic alliance, acquisition, establishment of new subsidiaries. So basically, you would export, you would license your other branches or other strategic alliances. You make alliances with other companies when you are internationalizing your company. You acquire some other companies in order to expand your business, and that helps you in your national strategy and establishment of a new subsidiary. Subsidiaries also, when you establish a new subsidiary in your new market, in your new international market, that kind of paves the way for you to venture into the new market. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Okay. So some of the opportunities and outcomes of international strategy. So we use core competence. We have, as we said, all these that I just talked about. And so how do we go about it is management problems and risk. And management problems are when you are managing the problems that you face when you're going to face these challenges, and they will be always around you. You will always be dealing with these challenges all the time. So what you need to do, you need to make sure that managing the problems and difficulties that you experience during your exporting, licensing, and everything, you would be able to risk manage and coming to a better performance and innovation. So we talked about innovation in the beginning of the class, I remember. So basically by innovation we mean every single change, there are certain levels of change or implementation of innovation. But mostly what happens is we start, there's the whole new concepts and, discussions that we could have about innovation. We could have our own class, which I suppose we will be having our innovation, course in the next semesters. But just to give you an idea, innovation starts with just imitation first, like we just copy successful companies, and out of imitation, we come up with some changes, and but changes, we get ready for innovation and also invention. So basically, innovation comes very handy when you are going to expand, because without innovation is one of the best ways to achieve and gain competitive advantage. So basically, let's suppose you have a company, a local company, and you want to go international and go to international market. So for your strategy, you need to definitely export your products or services to the new market. And you probably need to get into the new market and be able to succeed there. So one of the best tools that you could use in this process is innovation. Innovation helps you to do better with the same amount of, let's say, capital or investment that you would use, or same number of staff or even less, but get a better result. So it helps you to better your service or product, and then you send it to the new market. It helps you to succeed. So basically, innovation is our tool to be able to internationalize our products and services. So like this chart is just gonna help us understand that when we are going to internationalize our strategies, we have to have an innovation plan. Innovation plan in the sense that we have to be able to make our business more efficient, because one of the concepts that we did discuss about, if you remember, was the competition, and we said that locally you have your other rivals, but when you expand and you become international, you're basically competing with a company in India, in New Delhi, or you're competing with a company in Zurich, or like any other city or any other country in the world. So you can't just say, okay, I'm just competing with the companies around me or those that I see. There are several different companies. They do e-commerce, they do online, business. So basically, the opportunities and threats and all those, SWOT, SWOT analysis would be much more bigger than what you have. So one of the best ways to be able to succeed in this new venue is by innovation. So you got to be innovating in your business. You got to be rewarding the employees that come up with new ideas. And you got to be able to welcome changes. So that's how you will go about innovation. Okay. So motivations for international expansion. So basically, we talked a bit about why companies go into international markets. So basically, we want to discuss more about the reasons or motivations that businesses expand. So let me pause here first. Is there any questions so far? Does anybody have any questions? Okay, so seems to be clear. So let's move on. So increase market share. So we talked about the market share in the previous slide. So basically, domestic market may lack the size of support efficient scale manufacturing facilities. So that's true. When you are just dealing or doing business with a local market, the support, the efficient support that you have for the manufacturing is not enough. Let's say if you are able to produce or manufacture a huge amount of products, then you have only a very limited number of customers. That would not be efficient for you, because we talked about economies of scale. We talked about how when you manufacture more, you actually incur less expenses. It's less expensive for you to create more than create less. You know, because the more you create, the price that you need to incur for every single product will be less, then your profit will increase, right? So basically, by increasing your market share, you will become more efficient. You will become an efficient company that is providing products to a bigger scale of customers. So basically, that helps you. Then ROI that you have probably seen, like in the balance sheet of the major companies, they have a part called ROI, or return on investment, is where the investors will look at, and it's one of the most important factors of a company. Like, let's say when you want to see if a company is successful, one of the best ways is looking at their ROI and find out how they are doing on investment. So basically, it's just a very simple ratio of investment over the return the company is providing the investors, or those who are involved in the business. So large investment projects may require global markets to justify the capital outlay, and weak patent protection in some countries implies that firms should expand overseas rapidly in order to preempt imitators. Okay, so that's very important. Basically what it's saying is large investment projects, those big projects that call for a very huge amount of money or investment, they basically may require global market investment. So you would need investors from all around the world, because that it's possible that you wouldn't be able to get the required amount of investment that you're looking for for your market. So basically, that's true. And what happens is, for large investments, mostly you would be able to have a good reason for investors to help you start, because a lot of investors, they're independent investors. They just want the result. They say, okay, I'll give you this investment, and I just need this much return on our investment. So you gotta have a good reason for the investor to convince the investor that investing in your business is a good deal and they will benefit from it. So basically, that's true. And when you go international, basically your chances of getting an investor increases, because the number of chances that you have and opportunities that you have are much more. So basically, it's possible to get the investor you're looking for, even for a higher investment amount. So that's very important. And then the patent is also one of the important factors. We talked about innovation, how it's important to have innovation in order to expand, but at the same time, it is important to protect your innovation, because in a lot of countries, the patent or copyright is not respected, or is not a rule of thumb. They just copy each other, and there is no enforcement of the law for copyright. So copyright is not practiced that much, right? So you want to go into a market that you could get the patent, and at least in that sort of market, you would secure your innovation. So it really helps if you can go into a market that helps you secure your innovation. So basically, that's very important. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Okay, so in line with the same concept, we have economies of scale or learning. Expanding size or scope of market helps to achieve economies of scale in manufacturing as well as marketing or R&D or distribution. So basically what it says is that when you expand market, we did discuss that. When you expand the market, the economies of scale increases. The size of the market you're helping increases, so the number of customers you're helping increases, and also the marketing. You have a bigger chunk size of customers that you could market or communicate your product or services to them. So basically, you have a better chance of succeeding. And your R&D distribution, so your research and development would also be able to flourish and do better and increase. So basically, R&D would be able to do a bigger research for a larger number of customers. So that's also very important for your company, because you're looking for expansion, and success comes with growth. As we talked, I remember we talked about how growth is the major factor of one's business. Means that if you are not growing and you're doing exactly what you've been doing for the last number of years, basically you're not only not succeeding, but you're facing failure. So growth is one of the major factors in a company. If you don't have growth, you're basically behind the schedule. So R&D helps you to speed up the process of growing, and basically your chances of R&D and the result you get from R&D is more, because when you are just doing business in a very small local market, the chances that you get something out of it is less than when you do the research for a huge number. Or R&D is research and development. If you remember, we did discuss that in the previous sessions. So research and development is one of the departments mostly of the company. Sometimes it's part of the marketing, sometimes it's just a separate part, because let's say if you want to come up with a new product, or you want to experiment the product or everything, that is also part of research and development. So R&D is very important, and all those successful companies, let's say like Apple, or like major medicine company, they have a huge research and development department, and that's really one of the major factors that help them succeed, because in that department is where they can do the research and create the wonderful product for the next year or next step. So basically that paves the way for them for helping the customer in the next venues, like that's how they're growing. So basically R&D is generating innovative ideas or products, and those would be pumped in the market, and that's how the company will grow along the way. So basically, it's very expensive to have R&D, because like research projects are very expensive, and it's very expensive to deal with them. But at the same time, it's impossible to be innovative without R&D. So that's a very important factor. So, but it's inevitable. If you want to go international, you need the R&D department. Okay. So also, it can spread the cost over a larger sales base. So we talked about that. So then the bigger number of products that you have, the lesser amount of money you would be incurring costs to create that product. Let's say if you create 100 of the products rather than 200, so creating 100 with the same facility would be more expensive than 200, because when you create 200, the cost for each single product would be less. Okay, and then increase profit per unit. So so when your cost per unit will go less, then your profit will increase. It's like a normal equation, very easy equation. So location advantages, we talked about it. low-cost markets may aid in developing competitive advantage. So when you are expanding and going international, you would be facing so many different markets, and some of those would be low cost. Some companies just go international and go to those low-cost markets. Some of them, they just go international to reach those low-cost markets. Let's say like in the West, there are many companies that they just venture to the East because it's like low cost, you know. So it's a matter of the reason that you are going international and expanding. So there are different reasons and different, you know, causes that takes you to different markets. And so you would achieve a better access to raw materials, lower cost labor. Like one of the good examples would be going to China. You know, a lot of businesses are producing or their manufacturing part is in China. Most of the companies, I would say nowadays. So because the labor is cheaper, you know. Yeah, and like all those other factors that you add to the labor, like here we have labor costs, insurance costs, you know, all those different tax costs, all those, when you add them up, the cost for labor is very high. But let's say in an international market like China, that the cost would be tremendously lower than what it is here. Then key customers. The key customers, I mean, you will have access to your key customers. I mean, there are times that your customers are not necessarily in the market that you're producing your product. So your key customers could be in your new international market, so you will reach that. And the energy, you know, the energy saving, you know, that you would be able to save because of, let's say, different environment that you're going and everything. So these are all the benefits you could get. Okay, so this slide sort of pictures what we discussed. Let me just pause at the previous slide. Just any questions so far? Anything you want to clarify? Anything you want us to explain more? Is that clear? Okay. So, seems there is no question, so let's move on to the next slide. Okay. So here we are just picturing or visualizing what we discussed. International corporate level strategy. So we talked about these three types of strategies, so we want to make sure that we understand. So need for global integration and need for local responsiveness. So we did talk about globalization and localization in previous sessions. Globalization is when you go global, right? When you go international, but at the same time, local needs would also matter, right? So they call it globalization. So globalization means that global and local. So basically, you need to integrate globally when you're expanding, but at the same time, you need to respond to the local. I mean, the new venue that you go to, there are some local needs that you need to respond to. So you need to consider both of them, right? So basically, we are going to see how the level of the global responsiveness and local responsiveness for each of them. So we have the global strategy. The global strategy is mostly about global responsiveness, and it has the least amount of responsiveness to the local side. So it's like when you are going global, you make sure you have your global strategies, you have your ideas, or you have some certain rules of you know, business that apply to the global market. So then you're not that much concerned, or as much concerned with the local needs, because you're creating a unique international product that you know, addresses a certain need globally. So that's what you need to focus on. You got to make sure that the product meets the requirement for a global business. Then, when we move on to transitional and multi-domestic, basically talking about how from multi-domestic, when you're running business in certain different domestic markets, you are basically running your business in a lot of different local markets. So it's very important to be able to respond accordingly. And also transitional strategies when you're transitioning. So then you would still need to be very much, aware or concerned about local responsiveness. But for transitional, because you're transitioning towards the global, your level of global integration will be much higher as well. So it just shows you where they stand. So it's like to understand what they mean and how they're different. This chart is really helpful and sort of pictures where you stand. So in your in your assignment that is due next week, and we're going to talk about it today. How we should do that and everything. You could use such a chart to show where your company that you're going to present stands, or what kind of strategy you are using in that company. Okay. Then we have international corporate level strategy. So type of corporate strategy selected will have impact on the selection and implementation of business level strategies. So business strategies or business plans, you have the type of corporate strategy that you use will be very influential on the selection of implementation of the business level strategies. That's very straightforward. So it's very important what type of corporate strategy you're going to select, and that will be impactful on implementation of the business level strategies. Then, some corporate strategies provide individual country units with flexibility to choose their own strategy. This is a matter of decision of the headquarter, that whether they want the corporate strategy be lenient, or let the market in certain country react different from the others according to their needs. So these are all different corporate strategies that you need to apply when you are going global, or any type of strategy that you're going to take. You need to be able to take an approach to your corporate strategies as well. And others dictate business level strategies from the home office and coordinate resources sharing across the units. So some other corporate level strategies would from the home office, and they sort of shared all across the unit. So basically, these are different types. So first, those that therefore that depend on the corporate strategy that you choose for the whole company, and you would let certain different markets be different, and then finally there are some certain rules that are unique, universal, and they're all the same. Excuse me. So, any questions so far? Okay. No question? Okay, let's go to the next slide. So, we have international corporate level strategy. So basically what it is we're dealing about the multi-domestic strategy. So strategy and operating decisions are decentralized to strategic business units in each country. So basically, instead of focusing on on a business unit in each country, you don't put your focus, or you don't center your attention in just your business units. It's just a matter of different going to. So next bullet point explains it a bit more, that your products and services are tailored to local markets. So basically, whichever market that you go, you just try to customize what is needed for that certain market. So it's like a sort of responsiveness that you have to certain market needs. And business units in one country are independent of each other. So you are basically considering each market as a domestic market. So you have one domestic market in this, let's say, country, and another domestic market in another country. So these are, your approach is different from the other types. It's more of the way you look at things. And sales market differ by country or regions. So you'll assume that your market differs just by your country or region. So you basically consider the differences, and you're definitely different in all these different markets that you're helping. And then you focus on competition in each market separately. So you deal with them as different domestic markets. So your approach for competition is just you focus on that certain market, and then on the other one separately. So you don't look at it as a whole huge one market, and basically it's like different local markets that you're competing separately with different plans. And then prominent strategy among European firms due to broad variety of cultures and markets in Europe. This is a very good example and explanation here. Like in the European Union, in EU, they have the huge market of Europe because of the EU. But at the same time, the cultures are so different. Like the European countries, like France, Italy, Spain, they have a whole different type of culture. So how they go about it is they take this multi-domestic strategy. So it's easy for them to have different domestic businesses because of the EU. It's very easy to expand there. But at the same time, they got to be careful that they can't just internationalize their product to all different European countries and expect the same result, because there are differences in their cultures. So they need to make sure that they address those differences accordingly. So basically, what happens is they take the approach of multi-domestic strategy in Europe, because it helps them to respond to the local needs of the new cultures they go through, and at the same time they will be able to grow. So basically, that's very helpful for them. So that's for that. Is there any questions so far? Okay, let's move on. Okay, international corporate level strategy. So now we are talking about the global one. So as we talked and discussed, your products are standardized in this version. So instead of not standardizing, you have one unique type, which is a standardized all around the world or wherever you go. Decisions regarding business level strategies are centralized in the home office. So you're centralizing everything in your headquarters, in your home office. So your home office decides for all around the markets, different markets that you're helping or serving. The strategic business units are assumed to be interdependent. They are not independent. They are interdependent. They're related to each other. So every single business unit that you're developing a strategy for, basically, is interrelated to other business units. So as you can see here, your level of unity among your strategies and products is much higher. So your emphasis is on economies of scale because you want to create the same type of product. So you create as much as you can with the same features for the product. But you don't have that much of a responsiveness to the local markets. You just create one unique product, just send it all over. So it's a different approach and requires resource sharing and coordination across borders. So it also requires sharing and coordination across borders, and it makes it difficult to manage. So basically, in this type, different from the first type that we discussed, we have standardized type of products and services. So it's just one type. You just don't respond to the different local market that you go to. Secondly, it's their business level strategies are centralized in your home office. Your home office decides for everywhere else, and so the leeway for other different regions is much less than it was in the previous type that we called the multi-domestic. Then business units are interdependent, they are related to each other, so every change in one type of business unit will have a sort of effect on the others also. So it's like change goes all along together. It's not that this market be like that and the other one will be different. They're all pretty much the same. And you emphasize on the economies of scale. You lack responsiveness to local markets, so you decrease. This has the least amount of responsiveness to the local market. The global market, if you remember from the chart, is at the highest level of global integration, the lowest at the responsiveness to the local needs. And then finally, it requires resource sharing and coordination across the border. So basically, you need to be able to use your resources and capital and competencies all around the world or wherever you are. It's not that they are different markets. You are just using them. So, and finally, transitional strategy. Six issue both global and local responsiveness. So transitional, somewhere in between, as you remember from the chart, is when you're just trying to basically, you start from domestic or multi-domestic, you move to transition and then global. So you stay there. I mean, it depends, but that's how you move forward or backward, or from global to transitional and then multi-domestic. So you can just move along this gauge and go wherever you want to go. So basically, this is like when you have the most localization, means global and local. So you want to be global and the same local, and you want to, it's difficult to achieve business of simultaneous requirements, like a strong central control and at the same time decentralized to achieve local. So basically what they have is the headquarters, of course, making the big decisions, the big brain of the company, but at the same time other local markets, they have their own headquarters, they have their own decision makers. So it's like you're trying to do both, somewhere in between, and you must pursue organizational learning to achieve a competitive advantage. So you need to learn. A lot of learning is involved because you're learning from the local needs and international. You can't just rely on one of them. So basically, for you to be able to succeed, it's difficult, and a lot of learning curve is there. You need to learn how the local market responds, react to it, how the international, and how to merge and marry these together and come up with a final product that makes everybody happy. So as you can see here, it's very important to basically keep everyone happy and be successful in every regard. Okay, so that's the end of the lecture here. First of all, is there any questions before we go into the task of the day? So anybody has a question so far? Okay, so no question again. Okay, so okay, one question. Okay, meaning of R&D, as we discussed, is research and development. So basically, research and development is where your company does the research to basically create innovation and new products. So every single company has a research and development department. Most of them have, I mean, the big companies have very big and huge research and development sites that they spend a lot of money on how to expand their businesses and implement products and be successful and everything. So basically, what it is a paving way of for the future. You do research and development to be able to come up with new products. Apple, for example, has one of the biggest research and development sites. They spend a lot of money on like all these iPhone 4s and new type of iPhones or iPads that are coming. They're all the result of a huge amount of money and expertise and skills that have been put into the new projects that suppose like iPhone 4S is out, but before it is out, there's a big team working on iPhone 5. So iPhone 5 is out, or before it is out, there's another team working on the next step of the company. So like their products and services are very much, influenced or impacted by R&D. So R&D does research for the customer service. If customers have a certain type of need, they respond very, very, simultaneously and as fast as they can so that they can implement it. So that's what it is. Okay, very good. So let's do the task of the day first. The task of the day is for this chart. I want you to just do this chart for me and name one global strategy, one transitional strategy, the transnational strategy, and one multi-domestic strategy. So basically, what I need you to do, you could name the same company and tell me their global, transnational, or multi-domestic, or just give me a name for each of them. It's just the matter of, so just tell me, name one company for global strategy. Strategy and multi-domestic. So it might happen that we don't know the company, right? So because there are so many companies. So you would tell us why you think it's global, their strategy is global, why it's transnational, and why it's multi-domestic. So, and explain why. So basically tell us one company with a global strategy or transnational and multi-domestic, and then tell us why. Tell us why you think it's global, why is it transnational, and why is it multi-domestic. So we'll explain that. So please start working on it and discuss with your friends and everything. And I look forward to volunteers who want to share that. You can, explain that in the class. I will activate your microphone. Just raise your hand or just type it down there. Okay, Coca-Cola, Kodak, LG. So please explain why, Mr. Could you please send that to everyone so that everyone can also see? Let me copy paste. So this is what Mr. Bach says. Could you please explain why Coca-Cola has a global and Kodak a transnational and LG at the multi-domestic? Yeah, give us some explanation regarding the local responsiveness and also global integration. Okay. Okay, Nokia is a good example. Okay, Mrs. Agun, why? Please explain why. It's very easy to explain. Just tell us like the level of global integration and responsiveness, the local responsiveness for each of them that you think they have transnational strategy or global. Okay, Mr. Ba. Coca-Cola provides its production or its business across the global. Kodak also have this level. Okay. Market share of about 38%. Okay. Most domestic use. Okay. LG makes different products for multi-domestic use. Okay. So are you going to explain the other examples? Like, so you talked about, Mr. Barak talked about Coca-Cola, Nokia, and LG, and how about Mr. Zagon? You mentioned Nokia. So, okay. So we have McDonald's. Okay. Other restaurants. Everyone in here, quality and price. Okay. There are some points I just want to clarify here. You know, for your example, Mr. Barak, Coca-Cola is for sure a global. I mean, the global strategy is much stronger in Coca-Cola. Then Kodak is also. I mean, the global strategies are there, but the transnational strategy, I can see that because we still have to use those old, or those old film rolls for old cameras. They are just using for certain national, markets. So that makes sense. And LG is somewhere in between there also. Yes, they try to cater different type of multi-domestic products, but well, those are more of basically to help you understand the multi-domestic is when they start knowing or becoming um, like international. So that's the first step they take. They become multi-domestic first, then they go to transnational, and then they go global. So with that explanation, McDonald's would for sure fall into the category of a global market. But then you could mention one of their similar strategies. You could say McDonald's has this multi-domestic strategy of, let's say, catering or changing or customizing some of their food or sauces according to the market they serve. So that's a certain strategy they take, but their general or their major part of the strategy is global for McDonald's. And it's okay if you say they have some multi-domestic strategies, but it's not the prominent type of strategy that they have. So you can't just say McDonald's has a multi-domestic strategy. That's not true, but you can say McDonald's has a prominent global strategy, but at the same time a multi-domestic strategy when they customize their food according to the need of the market. So that's one other point. And when it's following the strategies in the case, does they adjust? Yes, they do, but the global strategy is much bigger. If you look at McDonald's, their size of sandwiches, their taste is pretty much the same. When you talk about Big Mac or all those kind of things, they are pretty standardized. So McDonald's is known for, like, let's say when we travel to a country, you say, okay, so let's go to McDonald's because you know exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get a Big Mac, and it's exactly the same as what you get here. I mean, they do make some minor changes. That's the domestic part. But for the big part, they have the global strategy as a big picture. You know what I mean? So that's something to consider. When you look at companies, you got to understand what is their prominent or the biggest type of strategy they use. Are they into global strategy most or other strategies? So McDonald's would fall into the category of global strategy, but they do use some multi-domestic strategies once in a while, but the prominent type of strategy for McDonald's would be global strategy. Okay, very good. So any questions on that? Are there any questions so far? Okay. Okay, beautiful. So what we're going to do now is discuss your assignments one more time to make sure we are all on the same page. And you know exactly what you're supposed to do. Okay. So your group project that is due next week. Basically, what happens is, as we discussed, you are supposed to have written already, or almost have written, a strategic plan for a business, which could be your own business or an imaginary business. So, group of 5 that you are already in groups of 5. Everyone has to participate in a group equally. Once again. Explain the global and transnational. Okay, let me explain that first before I move on to the. Okay, so basically the difference between global and transnational is just the level of responsiveness to the local needs and global needs, right? So basically, what happens is in the global part, you are responding just according to the global level. You're just looking at your headquarters will decide for everywhere else, and you have a certain type of product and it's the same everywhere else. But transnational is when you have a high level of responsiveness to the local needs, and at the same time, very, very into internationalizing. So it's one step behind global in the sense of becoming like just standardizing everything, but at the same time, it has a very high level of responsiveness. Yes, most of the global companies are bigger, you know. It is not good clear. You mean it's not clear yet? I see. Okay, no problem. Okay, so basically, let's get back to the assignment. So I just want to re-clarify so that you know exactly what I expect next week. So basically, I want every single group member to email me saying that the other team members were, participating. So the emails would be kept confidential. Don't feel bad if you want to say that certain group member didn't work. Just write your feeling and how you experienced it. Try to be honest and just email me and say if other group members were equally participating or not. So I will receive one email from every single group member regarding your participation. So that's one part. Then your essay, about 20 pages, and then we have the application of the concepts in the course. I want you to apply all those concepts that we discussed in the class, and also, there should be logical flow and also the good write-up, and then. So it's due next week. Next session would be only presentation. Just make sure you assign one presenter, or if you want all present, I'll give you the presentation choice. Like you can present first and then raise your hand and I'll give the presentation to the next group member, or just one person can present. So you will do what I do. You just show your slides, explain to us what's going on, and everybody in the class will listen to you. So you will be running the class. So every group will have about 15 minutes. Okay, Mr. Black, just email me. Everybody has to email me. Those who were active and work, just email me. Say, two of us did it. I want your emails. Tell me in your emails, and we'll go from there. So basically, the class would be run by you next week. So we have 15 minutes for each group to present, and we give about a few minutes for other groups to ask questions or whatever they want to ask. And so it's like a group project, and it's very important. I also need your individual projects as well. So you would be also submitting your summary, your executive summary of what you learned and how you're going to apply it in your career. So 10 pages is the max, and be practical. Give me examples of how exactly you're going to apply what you learned onto this course, and I'll be looking forward to see that, receive that by next week. So it would be great if you could email me your projects before the class, like one day before, so I could go through it first. So that would be great if you send it to me one day before, and then we have it on the day of presentation. You'll be able to, I'll be able to, upload it here for you, and then we can just, go from there. So this is the practice. Is there any question on the assignments? Anybody needs any clarification? Any questions? The direction of assignment. What do you mean by direction of assignment? Do you need this syllabus again? Oh, okay. I've already sent you that, like the first session of the course, of course, and it's quite too late to get that. But okay, for sure, I'll send it to you again. Okay. So I hope you're not just going to work on it semester. It should already be done because we have only 1 week, and I'm sure that everybody has been working on it. Sure. Okay. So we'll finish the class here. Just look forward to your projects next week. Thank you, and sorry again for being late today. Let's start. We have the final draft ready. Awesome. Beautiful, Mr. Mark. And this will be the... Okay, okay, Mr. Zagun. So does that mean you have more questions, or? Could you explain what do you mean by that? If you will send us more questions and requirements. Oh, I want to leave it at here because I want to give you some room to do what you want, because I don't want you to just follow exactly what I said. This is like enough for the mold or like the major part. So the rest I want you to do your way. So that is very important that you do it in your way, and that's what makes the difference. So I want you to do the rest on your side and do it in whichever way that you think is right. So I don't want to give more explanation to make it like very difficult. It's just, these are the basics that I told you. So just feel free to just make changes wherever you want to make changes, and just the rest is up to you. Just feel free to make any changes that you want. So it's pretty straightforward, though. It's just you follow these, and the rest is up to you. Make it as good as you want. I'm sure you have done a great job. Just make sure that you have the flow there and everything is relevant, and you should be fine. Okay. So thank you all. Is there any questions regarding the assignment? Just please ask any questions that you have. Okay. Beautiful. So yes, talk to each other and make sure that you're ready for the next session. So okay. So if there is not any more questions, let's go to our next class.
Yes, the next session we are supposed to submit it, and if you could send it to me a bit before so I could review it first. So next summer is our last session. We are going to have our presentations. Every group is going to present for 15 minutes, and you will have one or as many presenters as you want. So you'll be running a class, you will be presenting, we'll listen to you, we'll ask questions at the end of the presentation for each group. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So is that clear? Okay. So beautiful. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you in the marketing class. So let me just stop here.